Notice one in the detail ain't there. I can do that. It's so fun and satisfying.
Inhibitor container detected.
I need to make this one.
Here are your...
You'd do well to remember our arrangement, woman. Not now.
What can I get for you, Baba?
Your tone goes too...
Corv.
2 vols. Okay. Damn.
Generators activated.
Don't fall asleep. Don't close your eyes. If you turn away, you're gonna miss the prize. Only winners play, and they play the game. So throw your chips. I'm on a winning
A freak.
team. Some people cheat, and some people sin. Oh, I play to win. I play to win. I never want to lose a fight. Waiting in the ring tonight. Oh, I play to win.
No idea.
You're the badass, and I'm the punk. And everyone knows who's got the junk. I'm the shooting star. I'm the golden coin.
Can't really.
Lucky charm.
Oh, whoa.
Some people cheat, and some people sin. Oh, I play to win. lovers go. They all see stars you know. Play to win, a win to play. Play to win, a win to play. I play to win.
Nope.
Play to win. I play to win.
Yeah, Lana, I completely forgot the character name, but she has taste, though. Down.
It's just past 8, June the 14th, 2022. Villador! The VNC Tower is headquarters to the Villador News Corporation TV.
I just really like this one.
Don't fall asleep. Don't close your eyes. If you turn away, you're gonna miss the prize. Only winners play, and they play to keep. So throw your chips. I'm on a winning streak. Some people cheat, and some people sin. Oh, I play to win. I play to win. I never want to lose a fight. Waiting in the ring tonight. Oh, I play to win. You're the badass, and I'm the punk. And everyone knows who's got the junk. I'm the shooting star. I'm the golden coin. I'm the lucky charm. Some people cheat, and some people sin. Oh, I play to win.
Are you serious? I used the skill. Back off.
To lose a fight, waiting in the ring tonight. Oh, I play to win. Oh, I play to win. Lovers come, the lovers go.
It's kinda cool. I didn't know there was a thing.
Play to win, a win to keep. Play to win, win to keep. Lovers come and lovers go. They all see stars you know. Play to win, a win to play. I play to win. I play to win. I play to win. I play to win. To lose a fight, waiting in the ring tonight. Oh, I play to win. Oh, I play to win. I play to win. I play to win. I play to win.
Aiden, how did it go?
Too froth. What monster?
It's nighttime. And back to the music. I could just listen to everybody else. You know what? I'm gonna start from the top to bottom, I guess. I don't know what's in order, but
December
whatever.
19th, 2021. GRE report on the state of the epidemic. Firstly, I must comment on the news report now circulating. It has damaged our credibility in the eyes of the world. Yes, the virus may have leaked from a GRE lab, but we cannot dwell on the past if we are to have a future. The data shows that the THV strain is far more contagious than previously known. So far, only antizen has proven reliable in stopping the virus's spread. However, we've found in Villador the same results as in the other 20 candidate cities. The UV light affects the virus in a similar way. It stops the virus's spread without eliminating it from the body. Nonetheless, at this rate, in a few weeks, more than half of humanity will be infected. Accordingly, we must now enter the second phase of the protocol. Governments should now outlaw the following: the operation of any business not deemed an essential service, gatherings of more than 4 people not sharing the same household, free movement by any civilians who are not first responders or essential workers. In short, we recommend that martial law be declared. We may still bring this situation under control.
Man, that's so satisfying. Wait, overcharge? Oh crap. Damn it, it has to be those things. What the fuck? Ow. Ooh, avalanche. Let's see. Yep. Damn. Does this increase my thingy? Do I have to have this? Use. Dude, it's impossible to see, but it does the damage. I didn't. I just realized I finished the thing, so.
January
Less
24th,
talking of me.
2023. GRE report on the state of the epidemic. I'm sorry to report that infection numbers are going up, not down. The mortality rate in Europe has increased from 45,000 cases per week to 320,000. In Ukraine and Poland, the number of cases has increased by 400% each week. In Russia and Spain, healthcare systems are completely overwhelmed. Despite the mobilization of the military and the closure of borders, despite implementing containment measures in the 20 most impacted cities, the protocol is failing us. We now have to face the facts and admit that nowhere is safe. Russia's military has begun a campaign of genocide against those even suspected of infection. It pains me to say what follows, but there is little hope of survival for most of the world's current population. Thus, we at the GRE must pivot. Look at the bigger picture to prevent mankind's extinction. Speed up our actions. Time is short. We must centralize resources and start operating at the very heart of events. Enhance our efforts to bring humanity a cure. Start making immediate decisions, but also, and my voice trembles when I say this, radical ones.
Hear those sweat glands? What have you got for me?
Captain Posner to Colonel Williams. Status report for Monday, December 16th, 2024. One of my men needed a doctor immediately, so I hurried to the nearest garrison led by Major Matt. It seemed the wisest course of action, all things considered. The squad doesn't know I'm working on a morale assessment. The news of General Pratt's death had little emotional impact on the men. They did not respect him, believing that he had lost control of the situation a long time ago and was unable to make difficult decisions. They have a lot of respect for you, sir. I've also spoken to Major Matt, but he's hard to read. He avoided mention of you, and that's significant. He has a group of loyal soldiers who are at his beck and call. He clearly revels in his power, and exhibits the behavior of a man who will always seek more power. Can you count on him? I will find out in the coming days.
I really don't like what I see down there. Get this food down. Don't like what I see. I'm just gonna play the next one.
I'm recording this for posterity, so they can learn from my mistakes. To warn all who follow about the worst of plagues. And I am not referring to the virus. I was born into a very religious family. My earliest childhood memories? Prayer. Every morning and every evening. Knees scraped from constant contact with oak floorboards. When I grew up, I had a very hard time. I was lonely. I suffered. Despite my upbringing, I turned to religion for solace. It gave me the answers I sought. That I came to realize my father had tried to give me. To endure bullying is to earn heavenly rewards. God was my best friend, my only friend. I talked to him every day, and I believed that he listened to me and answered and loved me too. I felt like I owed him a debt. And that's why I enrolled in seminary. I think I became a fanatic, in a way. The urge to spread his teachings, convert others. It was not about God. It was about my own shortcomings. It was about me. There was something unhealthy about it. And dangerous. At the age of 23, I became a priest. Still just a snot-nosed kid, and I was supposed to be a shepherd of souls. I felt I was meant for this. I had answered the call. If God was with me, then who could be against me? I was full of conviction, faith that I could make the world a better place. But the world had other plans. Many times, I performed someone's last rites. I held their hands as they died. And in that last moment, in the millisecond before their last breath, I saw in them relief. Not because they were moving on to some kind of better world, to heaven, but because it was the end of something painful. They could finally bow out of the futile and exhausting dance of life. Their chore of living would be over. Their suffering would end. It was something completely incomprehensible to me. How can a person reject the gift of life? To accept death joyfully? For a person as strong as me, this was something very disturbing. Or maybe they knew about something that I had not seen. Did they see it in their last moment? This was the first crack in the edifice of my faith. And then, the epidemic started. There's a term for what came next. A crisis of faith. And with me, it started long before the epidemic. But when people started to turn into monsters, when city after city was eaten by darkness and poison, I started to wonder, where is God? Is he putting us through a trial? Or has he abandoned us? When Black Monday came, I no longer had any doubts. There is no God. There never was. Because of the THV Genmont bombings, 2 million people lost their lives. The streets carpeted with human corpses. What God would allow that? He would have to be infinitely cruel. Of course, other so-called men of the cloth offered nonsensical observations. That this was the will of God. Punishment for our wickedness. That Colonel Williams himself served as the hand of God. But that didn't matter anymore. The curtain had been torn off. People lost their faith. Because what were they supposed to believe in? No one wanted a God like that. And in that moment, to my own surprise, I felt free. As if I were a puppet who finally cut the strings that controlled him since birth. Free at last. After the Black Monday massacre, most people lost their faith. So did I. But it only took a few years before some people started to form cults that adapted elements like old deities and pagan faiths. They even started performing sacrifices, thinking someone would send them rain. People need shackles. They want to be controlled, lied to. They want someone to tell them how to live, what to do and what not to do. They prefer this to taking responsibility for their choices. Some researchers think religion is a linguistic virus that alters brain function and suppresses the ability for critical thinking. I repeated the same trite phrases for years, not thinking for a second about what I was actually saying. And what I was saying was mostly about instilling a feeling of guilt. It all dripped in evil, punishment, penance. Disgusting, oppressive baggage pressing you down into the dirt. But I tossed it off, as did thousands of others. The epidemic was a tragedy, but also a tremendous opportunity. An opportunity to fully free oneself from the bonds of religion. To stop believing in fairy tales and instead believe in yourself. That's what Francoise used to say, and I supported her vision. I joined her movement. Together, we can create a new community based on reason, mutual respect, empathy, and cooperation. One with room for everyone, including you.
Hey, Pops. I don't feel too good.
Villador! The VNC Tower is headquarters to the Villador News Corporation TV channel. Measuring 310 meters in height, it is one of the tallest buildings in Europe. Its observation deck presents a magnificent view of the city, from the skyscrapers of the business district to the castle, Elysium, and Old Villador. VNC programs are watched by millions of viewers every day. They are broadcast around the globe and have been translated into many languages. The station earned its viewers' trust through reliable and professional reporting and award-winning documentaries. Recently, in a bid to grow their audience, the VNC began producing tabloid content and launched several entertainment channels. This spurred protests by some of its more traditional viewers, culminating in the incident known as Brian's Ultimatum. 38-year-old Brian Nedelec barricaded himself in the offices of the reality show Villador Shore, insisting that the program be immediately canceled,
I thought our
or
chances against
he
renegades
would
were
jump
good.
out of a window. Let us honor his memory with a moment of silence. VNC Television is an official partner of the Villador Office of Tourism. Coming soon to the VNC, the 17th season of Villador Shore, which will bring you romance, betrayal, lies, and love. Lots of love. I'll definitely be tuning in. Horseshoe is the oldest part of the building, dating back to the 15th century. It's named formerly the bell tower built out of a military outpost. Its small winding streets bear odd names whose origins have faded with history. It's the home of the last craftsmen's workshops and antique stores. The spirit of a bygone.
I brought the tissue.
I don't need anything from...
Horseshoe is the oldest part of the city, with some buildings dating back to the 15th century. Its name comes from the shape of the walls that bordered it in the 17th century. The district is also home to the Water Tower, formerly the Bell Tower, built out of a military outpost. Its small, winding streets bear odd names whose origins have faded with history. It's the home of the last craftsmen's workshops and antique stores, the spirit of a bygone era. The greatest poets sought inspiration in Horseshoe, and their souls soar above its rooftops still. Perhaps, brave traveler, you too will find inspiration here. Today, Horseshoe is a favorite meeting spot, especially for lovers. I, myself, once met a match from a dating app there whose bio said he was a 30-year-old dolphin trainer with the body of a Greek god. Unfortunately, the man who appeared was a 50-year-old vacuum cleaner.
Kyra. I found him at peace. I think he died quickly.
Oh, that's so good. Thanks to you, the legend of Squad 404 lives on and inspires others.
Captain Posner to Colonel.
There's a term for what came next.
I can't.
Dear listeners, you may find this strange.
To Sierra and Brasco!
Just don't get offended.
You're siding with the enemy.
Here are your books.
Hi, Aiden.
I when I can. Not often.
Then tell me what you think. But
It depends on who you are and what you need to get by, doesn't it?
thoughtfully answered. Seems there's more to you than meets the eye. And what meets the eye is pleasing enough. You're a breath of fresh air, Aiden. We must talk again next time you bring back books for Albert. Fuck.
I'm gonna just grab like a quick quest from this dude. I went up from level 2, my dude. It's good. Scare the heck out of me. I'm gonna continue with the little collectibles things, so have fun listening to those.
Village
Orla Castle was erected in 1115 on a wooded hill. It became part of the fortifications meant to protect the inhabitants of Villador from the Vikings, who would invade by way of the river Tursawa. The castle survived not only the Scandinavian warriors' attacks, but also fires, plagues, and the world wars. It is as solid and stubborn as the inhabitants of Villador themselves. Today, Orla Castle is one of Villador's prime tourist attractions, which each year draws in thousands of visitors. Who amongst us has not wanted to feel, just for a moment, like a brave knight or beautiful princess? Still stirring up emotions are the dungeons, where they imprisoned the most dangerous rogues of their day. In all the dungeons' centuries of use, only one person managed to escape: Andrew Zarapatha. This seemingly docile accountant was sentenced to 15 years of prison for tax fraud. He had, however, one extraordinary talent. He could talk people to death, sometimes literally. Thanks to his unbearably wooden and dull tales, he was able to neutralize guard after guard and calmly walk out of the prison.
If it's not.
What became of Andrew Zarapatha remains a mystery to this day.
Big strapping lug like you? This'll be a piece of cake. You are mighty effective, my friend. Does my old night runner hard. Round to see you.
Dear listeners, you may find this strange, but to me, this is something very important. My daughter, Renata, is getting married in a week. She was supposed to get married over a year ago. She had invited over 200 guests. She was so happy. But then, you know, THV happened. We had to cancel everything. We were hoping that the GRE would get the situation under control, that the restrictions would be loosened over time. But as you can see, it's only gotten worse. Some of the overseas guests we invited, well, they're gone. In the end, we decided to hold the wedding with only those closest to us in attendance. It is very important to Renata and Waldeck that this happens. And for me, it's important to bake a cake for them. It has been a tradition in my family for generations. The mother bakes a wedding cake for her daughter. Unfortunately, a week ago, someone stole my hens. I realize that now most food, down to each small egg, is worth its weight in gold. But if some kind soul were to share some eggs with us, I would be eternally grateful. Stay healthy, Daria.
Hello, my dears. I hope you are holding on in these difficult times. You're healthy and safe. I trust. I am. Life over the past 77 years has tried to kill me, time and again. I guess I'm immortal. I live alone in a large house. My beloved wife, Valerie, passed away in 2018. Actually, I'm glad she died then, so that she didn't have to watch the planet go to hell. I have a son, Daniel, who lives with his wife and my 3 granddaughters in Berlin. But I haven't been able to contact them for months. I'm afraid that they have turned, though perhaps they have gone somewhere and simply have no means of communication. Anyway, if any of you are spending this Christmas alone, I have a large pantry still full of preserves made by my Valerie. And I'm a pretty good cook. Perhaps someone would like to keep me company.
That's actually making me sad listening to this.
May the Holy Child's grace shine upon you. God bless.
Just hearing that hurts, actually.
Hi, it's Clara.
And Adam. We feel a bit silly talking about it, but we're looking for teaching aids. Pretty specific ones. See, with all this fuss about finding food, water, or shelter, our parents never really told us about some other, let's say, basic needs. Anywho, we heard that older generations had all sorts of fun ways to satisfy this need. So we're looking for advice, ideas, books if you have any, and accessories.
Adam's heard about this thing called PTSM, and he's been raving about it ever since.
It's BDSM, and you got pretty revved up about it too when we found those old pictures, I recall. Anyway, if you've got experience in these matters, we would appreciate the help.
Yes, we're also open to sharing experiences.
Not all of them.
It's just...
Oh.
It's just past 8.
Seriously?
Ladies.
What the freak, man? That's the end. See you tomorrow.